There's a silence that descends as the year draws to a close, a stillness that carries the weight of every choice, every victory, every lesson. On the 31st of December, the world feels different, not because the clock changes, but because we too are at a threshold. Like a river meeting the sea, this day asks us to pause, to look back at the currents that carried us and the stones that slowed our flow. Endings are not failures, they are teachers. Every unfinished plan, every disappointment, every joy and sorrow has its place, shaping the vessel we carry into the new year. Shaolin monks call this awareness, seeing life as it truly is, without attachment or judgment. It is a moment to honor the journey, not to mourn what has passed. Reflection becomes a practice of clarity, a mirror that shows us where we stumbled, where we rose, and where we became stronger than we knew. This day is a sacred threshold, a point where the past and future meet. When we release what no longer serves us, fear, doubt, resentment, we create space for what is waiting. There is a rhythm to life, a divine timing that orchestrates events for our highest growth. What arrives at this threshold is never random. Every encounter, every challenge, every quiet moment of insight has prepared us for what is next. To walk through this day consciously is to honor that rhythm. It is to understand that endings are not endings at all, but transitions. The final day of the year whispers, prepare yourself, watch, listen, step lightly, yet with intention. In this space, we touch the wisdom of presence, the mastery of the mind, and the grace of time itself. Discipline is often mistaken for rigidity, yet in the Shaolin tradition, it is the quiet art of shaping one's life through small, deliberate actions. Each movement, each breath, each choice becomes a thread in the fabric of destiny. A monk does not leap to mastery overnight. He bends, folds, and rises with patient consistency, knowing that the strength of the body mirrors the steadiness of the mind. As the year comes to a close, discipline takes on a sacred form. It is not about forcing change in a single day, but about aligning thoughts, words, and actions with clarity and intention. What we think becomes the seed of action, and what we speak sets the rhythm for our interactions. Each intentional moment, no matter how small, is a step toward shaping the life we wish to carry forward. Mastery is not found in grand gestures or dramatic decisions. It is found in the steady rhythm of daily choices, the decision to forgive, to focus, to rise even when the path is unclear. Like the flowing water carving stone over time, these small acts of discipline shape character, mind, and spirit. The final day of the year becomes a reflection of this truth. What we have practiced, what we have nurtured in silence, emerges now as clarity and readiness for what comes next. To honor discipline is to honor ourselves. It is to recognize that we are the sculptors of our own destiny, and the clay responds not to urgency, but to patience, intention, and consistency. As the year closes, there is a quiet power in this recognition, a chance to move into the next chapter, not with haste, but with the calm strength of a life lived deliberately. The past year holds countless moments, victories, failures, joys, and sorrows, each leaving its mark on the mind. Yet wisdom lies not in clinging to these moments, but in observing them with calm clarity. Imagine standing beside a river, watching the water flow. You do not try to stop it, nor do you grab hold of each ripple. You simply see it as it is, allowing it to pass. This is the essence of observing without attachment. To reflect on the year without judgment is to give the mind freedom. Regret and resentment act like weights, binding us to what has already unfolded. When we release them, we create space for insight, gratitude, and the quiet power of preparation. Each thought, each memory becomes a teacher rather than a burden. The practice is subtle. Notice the emotion, recognize it, and then let it drift away, like leaves carried by the river's current. Ancient teachings remind us that life is a series of lessons, not a series of punishments. By witnessing our experiences, we cultivate inner mastery. The mind, once calm and unbound, becomes a fertile ground for intention and clarity. When we let go, we open ourselves to the blessings that await in the new year, opportunities that might have been obscured by the weight of attachment. This practice is not passive. It is a quiet strength, a disciplined awareness that aligns the heart and mind. As the year closes, observing without attachment becomes an act of preparation, a way to step forward unburdened, attentive, and ready. In the stillness of this reflection, we discover that release is not loss, but freedom, and that the power to shape what comes next has always been within us. Before the world around us can shift, the mind and spirit must be ready to receive change. Like a bow that must be drawn evenly before it can release an arrow, we too must align within before stepping into the next chapter. Without this inner harmony, actions become scattered, intentions lose their power, and opportunities pass unnoticed. True preparation begins not in external planning, but in quiet cultivation of the self. Meditation offers a doorway to this alignment. In stillness, the mind observes its own currents, separating the essential from the clutter. Focused breathing becomes a rhythm that steadies thought and emotion, anchoring awareness in the present moment. Even a few deliberate breaths can shift perspective, dissolve tension, and clarify direction. Intention setting is the companion to this practice, a conscious choice to guide energy toward what truly matters. Written or spoken, intentions act as magnets, drawing circumstances and people in resonance with the aligned self. Ancient masters knew that the external world reflects the state of the inner world. When the mind is calm, decisions are clear, and opportunities reveal themselves naturally. When the spirit is centered, guidance appears in subtle forms. A quiet insight, a timely encounter, a path that unfolds without force. Inner alignment is not passive waiting. It is active preparation, a readiness that allows life to flow in harmony rather than struggle. As the year closes, cultivating this alignment becomes a sacred act. It is a recognition that what is to come will resonate only with the foundation we have built within. The mind, the heart, and the spirit, when synchronized, become instruments through which clarity, wisdom, and divine timing can express themselves fully. In this space, we are not merely awaiting change. We are prepared to step into it with confidence, grace, and conscious mastery. Gratitude is not simply a polite thought whispered at the end of a year. It is an energy, a recognition that the journey itself holds meaning. Each step we have taken, no matter how small, carries a lesson, a shift, a ripple that shapes the life we are living. To acknowledge our achievements is to honor the effort, the patience, and the courage that brought us here. Take a moment to list the victories of the year, not just the grand milestones, but the subtle ones, the moments you chose patience over anger, discipline over distraction, understanding over judgment. These are the acts that cultivate strength, even when they pass unseen by others. In doing so, you amplify abundance. Gratitude transforms memory into energy, filling the mind and heart with acknowledgement that attracts further growth and opportunity. Shaolin teachings speak of awareness and humility as the foundation of mastery. Each small victory is a brick in the structure of the self, and humility ensures we see them without pride or comparison. Awareness allows us to notice progress that is often hidden in the quiet folds of everyday life. When we recognize these steps, we honor the subtle mastery that builds character and inner power over time. As the year closes, this practice becomes essential. Gratitude shifts perspective from scarcity to abundance, from what is missing to what has been gained. It aligns the mind with the rhythm of life, preparing us to receive the next chapter with openness and grace. By seeing the meaningfulness in every act, every choice, every struggle and triumph, we cultivate a grounded strength. This strength is quiet, steady, and unshakable. The energy of a disciplined mind and a mindful heart ready to step into a new year fully awakened. To grow, we must sometimes let go. The mind, like a garden, cannot flourish when crowded with weeds of habit, fear, and resentment. Shaolin masters teach the art of fluidity, moving with life rather than resisting it. To be rigid is to break. To be adaptable is to endure, to flow, and to rise stronger. Releasing what no longer serves us is an act of conscious mastery, a practice of alignment between inner intent and outer life. The final day of the year carries a natural symbolism. It is the last page, a threshold between what was and what will be. This day invites us to shed the old skin, to leave behind thoughts that constrict, patterns that drain, and fears that limit. Intentional release is not denial or avoidance, it is clarity. It is seeing each attachment for what it truly is, acknowledging its lesson and then letting it move on. Like autumn leaves falling from a tree, letting go is a graceful surrender that makes room for renewal. Consider the habits we cling to out of comfort, the grudges we carry like stones in our pockets, the stories we tell ourselves that no longer serve our growth. Each can be released with awareness and gentleness. As we do, a quiet energy arises, a space for insight, creativity, and opportunities that could not exist in the crowded mind. Fluidity does not mean weakness. It is the strength of adaptation, the intelligence of the mind in harmony with life's rhythm. On this day, the practice of release becomes a ritual of empowerment. It is the recognition that mastery is not in accumulation, but in discernment. By letting go, we step lighter, see clearer, and prepare ourselves to enter the new year with a heart unburdened and a mind attuned to the possibilities that await. True strength is not in endless motion, but in the calm at the center of it. Shaolin teachings remind us that mastery comes from presence, the ability to remain steady even when the world moves around us. Stillness is not absence of action, it is clarity within action. The monk does not rush, does not react blindly, but moves with intention, observing every breath, every step, every moment. As the year closes, life often feels chaotic. Tasks accumulate, emotions flare, and time seems to slip away. Yet within this turbulence, a quiet center exists. By turning inward, by observing the mind without judgment, we discover a space untouched by stress. Focused breathing, mindful awareness, and simple pauses can reconnect us with this calm. In this stillness, decisions become clear, priorities sharpen, and the mind releases its frantic need for control. Stillness is a lens through which the world reveals its truths. When we act from calm rather than reaction, wisdom emerges naturally. What seemed urgent loses its grip. What seemed confusing unfolds into clarity. Ancient masters knew that the mind, when unsettled, cannot perceive opportunity or danger accurately. Only through presence can insight arise, guiding the body and spirit with precision. This practice is not passive resignation. It is active engagement with life's rhythm. Even in movement, the mind remains centered. By embodying stillness amid chaos, we prepare ourselves to close the year with intention rather than haste. We learn that clarity is born not from force but from grounding, that mastery is cultivated not by endless motion, but by the patient discipline of observing, breathing, and choosing each step with awareness. In this space, the final day of the year becomes not a race, but a conscious passage into what comes next. The turning of a year invites reflection, but it also invites action. Intentions are more than wishes. They are the seeds of what will grow when the mind is focused and the spirit is aligned. Writing them down is an act of clarity, a way to bring the unseen into form. The simple act of committing a goal to paper transforms it from a fleeting thought into a living guide for the year ahead. In Shaolin practice, focus is the cornerstone of mastery. A scattered mind cannot achieve meaningful results, no matter how much effort is applied. When we set intentions with care, we are training the mind to move in harmony with purpose. Each written intention is a mirror of inner clarity, a reflection of what truly matters. The process itself becomes a discipline, an act of mindfulness that prepares us to act with precision and calm in the days that follow. Yet not all goals carry equal energy. Goals rooted in personal growth, in service to others, or in alignment with inner wisdom generate a force that draws circumstances into harmony. Material ambitions may provide temporary satisfaction, but intentions grounded in self-mastery create ripples that touch all aspects of life. They align action with purpose and cultivate a resilience that sustains us through challenges. As the year ends, this practice becomes more than planning, it becomes preparation. By setting intentions now, we step lightly into the new year with direction, focus, and awareness. Each goal is an opportunity to practice discipline, patience, and presence. And when intentions arise from alignment with our deeper selves, they carry a quiet power, guiding us with subtle insistence toward growth, clarity, and the unfolding of what is meant to be. When the mind is calm and the spirit aligned, the world begins to speak in subtle ways. A word overheard, a chance encounter, a repeated number or image, these are not mere coincidences. They are gentle whispers from a higher order, guiding us toward the path that resonates with our deepest purpose. Life communicates most clearly when we have cultivated the stillness to listen. Ancient masters understood that guidance is rarely loud or demanding. It comes as a nudge, a quiet suggestion, a gentle pull in the direction that is meant. To trust these signs requires patience and awareness. It is not about reading into every moment, but about discerning the patterns that emerge when the mind is open and attentive. Mindfulness trains the mind to notice what often goes unseen, and reflection allows insight to arise naturally. Synchronicities are the markers of alignment. When your inner world is in harmony, your outer world begins to mirror it. Opportunities appear at the right time, encounters carry deeper meaning, and challenges reveal hidden lessons. Recognizing these signs is a practice, a discipline of observation and trust. Each subtle signal becomes a guidepost, confirming that your efforts, intentions, and choices are moving in the direction of growth and fulfillment. As the year draws to a close, this awareness becomes especially potent. In the quiet moments of reflection, the signs of what has been and what is to come become visible. The mind learns to read the language of life, and the heart learns to trust its own intuition. In this space, divine guidance is not distant or abstract. It is immediate, present, and available to those who have cultivated the patience, clarity, and discipline to perceive it. Every ending carries within it the seed of a beginning. The final moments of the year are not simply a conclusion, but a quiet invitation to carry forward what has been learned, cultivated, and embodied. Each experience, whether gentle or harsh, leaves behind a trace of wisdom, a subtle gift to guide the steps that follow. The close of the year is a mirror, reflecting not only what has passed, but the potential of what lies ahead. Discipline once practiced does not fade with the turning of a calendar. Gratitude once felt continues to ripple outward, shaping perception and energy. Clarity, once achieved, illuminates choices in ways that instinct alone cannot. By bringing these qualities into the new year, we build a foundation that is both steady and flexible, capable of supporting growth in any circumstance. Life does not require perfection, only presence. To move into the future with intention is to honor both the past and the journey yet to unfold. The practice of mastery is lifelong. Each December 31st is a moment to recommit to this path, to reaffirm the daily habits and mindful awareness that shape character and destiny. It is a moment to release complacency, to embrace responsibility for the self, and to walk forward with purpose. In these final hours, reflection becomes a ritual and preparation becomes an offering, a conscious act of aligning with what truly matters. When the last moment passes, the year ends, but its lessons remain. They are carried quietly within the mind and heart, ready to guide, inspire, and strengthen. In honoring the legacy of the last moment, we step into the new year, not as those who are merely passing time, but as those who understand the sacred rhythm of growth, the subtle power of discipline, and the enduring potential of presence in every moment. As the year comes to a close, remember that the last day is more than a date on the calendar. It is a sacred threshold. By embracing the practices of discipline, mindfulness, gratitude, and clear intention, we honor the journey we have walked and prepare ourselves for what lies ahead. Each act of reflection, each moment of release, and each step toward alignment plants the seeds for a year filled with clarity, purpose, and growth. Personal mastery is found in these small, conscious choices. The 31st of December is not just a day to look back, but a moment to step forward fully present, fully aware, and fully prepared. Carry these lessons into your daily life, allowing each day to be an opportunity to cultivate awareness, practice discipline, and live with intention. May your transition into the new year be calm, centered, and filled with quiet strength. Let this day remind you that you are the architect of your own journey, and every small mindful action shapes the life you wish to create. If you found guidance and inspiration in this video, support our journey by liking this video and subscribing to Shaolin Divine Flow so that together we can continue exploring the path of inner mastery and mindful living. Peace, clarity, and purpose to your new year.